A
Thank
man
you all
born at
for
the very
being
center
here.
of power
Your
within the
presence
British
means
royal
the
family,
world.
a prince
Together,
with
we
every
can make a
privilege and
difference.
every door already open.
You look beautiful
Now
tonight.
sits in a closed room in
Thank you.
California
So do you.
and speaks slowly about freedom. That man is
We
Prince
must
Harry.
come together
What
to face the
sounded
challenges ahead.
like a vague
Our shared
philosophical
future
reflection
depends on the
was, in
actions we
reality,
take
closer
now.
to a confession.
We must
At a
come
private
together to
men's
face the
mental health
challenges
summit
ahead.
held last week,
Our
with
shared
no
future
press,
depends
no
on the
red
actions we
carpet,
take
and no
now.
official statements.
It's a
Harry
beautiful
appeared
day, isn't it?
relaxed and less
It
guarded
is
than usual.
so lovely.
He
Shall
spoke
we?
about mental health, about pressure, and about
It's
searching
a beautiful
for himself
day, isn't
after
it?
years of
It
living
is
under
so
constant
lovely.
scrutiny.
Shall we?
Then a question was asked that changed the atmosphere entirely. Have you ever felt like you lost yourself in love? Room fell silent.
Thank you all
Harry
for being
paused
here.
for
Your
several
support
seconds,
means the
not
world.
out of politeness,
Together, we can make
but
a real
because the
difference.
question
Let's keep
genuinely
pushing
touched him.
forward.
When he finally spoke, his words were quiet but heavy. It was a time, he said, when he no longer recognized the man in the mirror. Freedom, he added, can sometimes look a lot like a cage. He did not mention Meghan Markle. He did not mention the royal
We must
family.
hold those in power
Yet everyone in the
accountable.
room understood.
The time for action is
A
now.
short clip from that
We
moment
cannot
leaked
delay.
hours later and spread
It's such a
rapidly
joy to
online,
be here with
drawing
you.
millions of
Couldn't
views
agree
and
more.
igniting a
We're a great
single
team.
dominant
The
question.
best.
Was Harry expressing
And when women
regret,
share their
or was he
stories,
simply
we realize
exhausted?
experiences
The
are
sentence
not
did not sound
isolated.
rehearsed
We
or
are stronger
promotional.
together. And
It
when
sounded
women
like
share
something
their
that had been held
stories,
back for
we
too
realize
long and had
experiences are
finally
not
slipped out.
isolated. We are
As the
stronger
Sussex
together.
relationship grows increasingly private, Harry continues to appear alone while Meghan focuses on her own projects. That
It's a great
single
crowd.
sentence felt like a
It
missing
is.
piece.
They're so
A
supportive.
crack briefly
On to the next one.
exposed.
Let's go.
And it resonated
It's about being
because it
authentic in
echoed a
every
doubt that has
interaction.
followed Harry
That
for years.
authenticity builds
Is he
resilience
truly
and
happy
helps
with
us
the life
inspire
he
others.
chose? At the
It's
conference,
about being
Harry
authentic
avoided
in every
controversy.
interaction.
He spoke
That authenticity
about
builds
fatherhood,
resilience and helps us inspire
about
others.
raising Archie and Lilibet
It's about
in
being
an
authentic
environment
in
he
every
believed would be
interaction.
freer,
That
with fewer
authenticity
rituals
builds
and less
resilience
pressure.
and helps us inspire
But his
others.
tone shifted when he spoke about
I'm
England,
here.
the
It's
place where he
okay.
was born,
I know.
and where his children have
Thank
never
you.
truly
Always.
lived. No schools, no winters, no extended family, no childhood memories. He described this absence as a sadness, a gap he was not sure could ever be
We
filled.
must address this issue
Those
with the
present
urgency
noticed
it
that his
demands.
lightness
The
faded,
time for
his gaze
action is
drifting
now.
inward, as if confronting something deeply personal. When the question about losing oneself in love followed, the pause that came before his answer felt unscripted and raw. It can look like a cage was not a line meant for headlines, yet it became one. The clip spread faster than anyone could control. The phrase Harry Cage surged across search engines, not out of
This
idle
is so
curiosity,
lovely, isn't
but
it?
because it
It
touched
really
a
is.
suspicion that
I'm
had
glad we
lingered
came.
beneath the
Me
surface
too.
for years. Harry had long described leaving the royal family as an act of liberation, a way to protect his family from suffocating constraints. This moment was different. It acknowledged the darker side of that freedom, not as an attack on the past, but as a doubt about the present. Observers noted that the statement did not come out of nowhere.
This is incredible.
Over the past
Absolutely
year, Harry has
amazing.
increasingly
The energy
appeared
is
alone at
electric.
events,
Couldn't agree
on
more.
solo trips,
This experience
and in
has been
charitable
incredibly
work,
eye-opening
while
for
Meghan
me.
has pursued
It's made me reflect
independent
deeply on what
projects.
truly matters,
Joint
and I'm
appearances
grateful for
have
that.
grown rare, and when
This
they
is
do
wonderful,
occur,
isn't
their
it?
connection appears
It
strained.
is. I'm glad we're
At
here.
the same
Me
time,
too.
Harry's relationship with England remains unresolved. He has no permanent home there, and bringing his children to his homeland is complicated by security, legal issues, or an unresolved family tensions, psychology experts. Familiar with royal dynamics, suggest Harry's words
It's about
reflect the
finding
classic
common
inner
ground.
Exactly.
conflict,
It's about
trading
building
an
bridges
entire
and
value
moving
system
forward
for
together.
a new ideal. Only
What
to
is
discover
happening here?
years
This is
later that the
unbelievable.
promised
Oh my gosh, be
fulfillment never
careful.
arrived.
This is so chaotic. Is
Freedom
this for
without an
real?
anchor can become its own
It's
form of
crucial to
confinement.
understand the
What
broader
made the moment so
implications here.
powerful was that
Absolutely,
Harry
and that's
assigned
what
no
we're
blame.
focusing on.
He did not accuse Meghan, the
Thank you
media,
for
or the
having
royal
me. It's
family.
a pleasure to be here and
The
discuss
issue,
this
he
important
implied,
topic.
was internal.
Let's dive right
That
in.
honesty made the public reaction
This is such a
intense.
wonderful
It was a quiet
turnout.
crack, not
It's
dramatic,
incredible. Everyone's so
but enough to
supportive.
glimpse
It really
what lies
is.
beneath the carefully managed
Aspiration is about
image.
what's
As the
inside
clip went
you.
viral,
It's that inner drive that
attention
pushes
turned
you to be
Montecito.
authentic and to pursue
According to
your goals
multiple sources, the
relentlessly.
household atmosphere shifted sharply. The concern was not that Harry had spoken, but that he had spoken too truthfully. The sentence opened the door to interpretations that could not be controlled, from doubts about his happiness to speculation about a marital rift. Notably, there was no immediate statement to reframe the narrative, something that had been done swiftly in the past. The silence suggested more than a communications delay. It suggested disagreement. Sources say Harry resisted turning his words into content. He did not want to soften or repackage his confession. Others believed the narrative needed to be managed. Before it spiraled further, that difference revealed a deeper divide. For Meghan, truth is something to be shaped and timed. You're Harry. Truth has reached a point where compression feels like self-erasure. After a tense confrontation, coordination reportedly faded. Harry withdrew from strategy meetings and long-term planning, while Meghan continued damage control on her own. Public reaction only intensified. Sympathy for Harry grew, even among former supporters of the Sussex brand. While Meghan faced a rare loss of narrative control, further attempts to contextualize Harry's remarks as exhaustion or misunderstanding failed. The public had seen a genuine moment, and every edited explanation afterward felt hollow. Harry refused to clarify or reframe. He chose silence. Joint appearances dwindled further and the contrast became stark. Meghan remained visible, maintaining her image while Harry nearly vanished. In a world driven by constant visibility, his withdrawal spoke volumes. This silence soon turned into action. Harry stopped responding to Hollywood contacts tied to joint ventures, skipped meetings, and disengaged from appearance proposals. Insiders recognized a retreat from a world he no longer felt aligned with. He began reassessing his life and noticed what was missing. Extended family, old friends, relationships formed before leaving royal life. Instead, he found himself surrounded by curated connections filtered through image and strategy. In response, Harry reached out to former military comrades in Palisades, seeking conversations with no agenda and no publicity. These exchanges grounded him. They reminded him of who he was before he became a symbol. At a quiet veterans gathering, Harry participated without fanfare. Those present described a different kind of emotional release, not performative but reflective. One recurring phrase stood out: "You don't realize how lost you are until your compass is gone." For Harry, that compass had once been duty and service. When it disappeared, he tried to replace it with freedom, only to find a void where direction should have been. As Harry turned inward, pressure mounted elsewhere. Without him acting as a bridge, many doors no longer opened as easily. Projects stalled, invitations slowed, and the imbalance between the couple became visible. Meghan increased her public presence, but the response was muted. Hollywood, once supportive, remained notably silent. Editorial rooms grew cautious, unwilling to anchor themselves to a story still unfolding. In private, Meghan reportedly expressed frustration, feeling she had sacrificed everything only to be cast as the villain. Meanwhile, Harry focused on a deeply personal project, described as raw and unfiltered, centered not on the royal family, but on identity,
thank you so
love,
much.
Hello,
and the
everyone.
cost
Great
of
to see you.
loyalty. It is said to be his story alone, not shaped by a shared narrative. That independence is what alarms those used to a unified front. Control, once central to the Sussex strategy, slipping away. By placing all these moments side by side, a clearer picture emerges. What Harry once called freedom now resembles an invisible cage, built not of rules but of isolation and expectation. His change has been slow, quiet, and persistent. Meghan, facing the fracture of a shared image, struggles to maintain control as support fades. Two paths are diverging. One is Harry reclaiming ownership of his life and identity. The other is Meghan trying to preserve a narrative that no longer aligns with reality. The year 2026 looms as a turning point. Will Harry return to Britain not in defeat but with clarity and maturity? Or will the Sussex marriage collapse under the weight of two identities moving in opposite directions? What is certain is that Harry is no longer silent out of obligation. He is beginning to ask whether this life is truly his. And when a prince begins to awaken, even the most carefully built fairy tale can no longer hold him. The question now is not whether something is changing, but how far that change will go. Those closest to Harry describe a man who is no longer running from anything, but also no longer chasing approval. This is new territory for him. For most of his life,
Thank
every
you all
role
for
was
being
predefined.
here.
Prince,
Your
spare,
presence means the
soldier,
world.
husband, advocate.
Together,
Each
we can
identity
make a
came with
difference.
expectations, applause,
You
or
look
criticism,
beautiful tonight.
but rarely
Thank you.
was space
So
to
do you.
simply exist. What seems to be happening now
We
is
must
a
come
slow
together to face the
dismantling of
challenges
those
ahead.
roles, not in
Our
anger,
shared
but in
future depends
fatigue.
on the actions we take
Harry is
now.
no longer interested in
We must come
proving that a
together to
decision
face
was
the
right.
challenges
He's
ahead.
more interested in
Our shared
understanding what that
future
decision
depends on
cost
the
him.
actions we take now.
This internal
It's a
shift
beautiful
explains
day,
why
isn't
there's
it?
been no dramatic
It is.
announcement,
So
no
lovely.
legal filing,
Shall we?
no public rupture. His withdrawal is not theatrical.
It's a beautiful
It is
day, isn't it?
methodical.
It
He is
is.
removing
So
himself
lovely.
piece
Shall
by
we?
piece from structures that require constant performance. Friends say he has begun questioning commitments he once accepted automatically. Not because they
Thank
are
you
wrong,
all for being
but because
here.
they are
Your
no
support
longer
means the
aligned with
world.
who he is
Together,
becoming.
we can make a real
That
difference.
process
Let's
is
keep pushing
deeply
forward.
uncomfortable, especially when your life has been built in public view. Inside the marriage, this creates a tension that cannot be resolved with compromise alone. The issue is not disagreement, but direction. Meghan's approach has always been forward-facing.
We must
Visibility
hold those in
equals
power
relevance.
accountable.
Narrative
The
equals
time
protection.
for action is now.
Silence in
We
her
cannot
world
delay.
is vulnerability.
It's such
For
a joy
Harry,
to be here with you.
silence
Couldn't
has
agree
become
more.
refuge.
We're a great team.
the
where she
best.
sees absence as danger.
And when
he
women share their
experiences it as
stories,
relief.
we realize our
These
experiences are
opposing
not
instincts are now
isolated. We are
colliding
stronger
daily,
together.
not through
And when women
arguments,
share
but
their
through
stories,
absence of
we
alignment.
realize our experiences
They
are
are
not
responding to the
isolated.
same
We are
crisis
stronger
in
together.
completely different ways. Who once described the Sussex relationship as symbiotic, now use a different word, asymmetrical.
It's a great crowd.
Meghan
It is.
continues to
They're
carry
so
the weight of
supportive.
public exposure,
On to the next
while
one.
Harry
Let's go.
quietly steps out
It's
of
about
it.
being authentic in
That
every
imbalance breeds
interaction.
resentment on
That
both
authenticity
sides.
builds resilience and helps us
Meghan feels
inspire
abandoned
others.
in the arena she
It's
believes
about
they
being
built
authentic
together.
in every
Harry
interaction.
feels
That
suffocated by an
authenticity
arena.
builds resilience and
He
helps
no
us
longer
inspire
recognizes
others.
as his own.
It's
Neither
about being
position is
authentic in
inherently
every
wrong,
interaction.
but they are
That
fundamentally
authenticity builds
incompatible.
resilience and helps
What
us
makes this
inspire
situation
others.
particularly fragile
I'm
is
here.
the lack of
It's
external
okay.
structure.
I know.
In the royal
Thank you.
family, no
Always.
matter how constraining, there were fixed roles, rules, and consequences. In Hollywood and the influencer-driven media world, structure is fluid and
We
often
must
ruthless.
address this issue with
Success
the
depends
urgency
on
it
constant
demands. The
motion.
time for
Pausing
action is
interpreted
now.
as weakness. Harry's pause, therefore, is not just personal. It disrupts an entire ecosystem built around momentum. This is why the public perception is shifting. People are not responding to scandal. They're responding to authenticity. Harry's exhaustion reads as real. Silence feels earned. In contrast, continued narrative management feels
This is so
increasingly out of
lovely,
step
isn't
with
it?
the emotional
It really
reality
is.
audiences
I'm glad
are
we came.
witnessing.
Me too.
Sympathy follows the quieter figure, not because he is perfect, but because he appears human. Observers also note that Harry's reconnection with his past is not nostalgic in a romantic sense. He is not idealizing royal life or pretending it was painless. Instead, he is acknowledging that it gave him something he underestimated: identity clarity. Even
This is
conflict within a
incredible.
clear structure
Absolutely
can feel
amazing.
safer than
The
freedom
energy
without
is
orientation.
electric.
Couldn't agree more.
This does not
This experience has been
automatically mean he
incredibly
wants to return
eye-opening
to
for
Britain
me.
permanently.
It's made me reflect
But it
deeply
does
on what
suggest
truly
he is
matters,
reevaluating
and I'm
what he
grateful for
cut
that.
off, and whether
This is
total
wonderful,
separation was
isn't it?
necessary for
It
survival.
is. I'm glad we're
At
here.
the same time,
too.
Meghan's isolation within Hollywood circles grows more apparent. Silence from former allies is not accidental. In entertainment, support is transactional. When confidence in a brand weakens, enthusiasm evaporates quickly. Without Harry's active participation,
about finding
the Sussex
common ground.
story loses
Exactly.
its
It's
emotional
about
center.
building bridges and
Meghan
moving
remains
forward
visible,
together.
but visibility
What is
without
happening here?
resonance
This is
becomes
unbelievable.
noise.
Oh my
This is the
gosh, be
harsh
careful.
reality of the
This is so
industry she chose
chaotic.
to
Is this
engage
for
with.
real?
It's a rumored magazine.
It's crucial to
Appearance
understand
meant
the
to reset her
broader
image stalled
implications here.
precisely because
Absolutely,
timing
and that's what
matters.
we're focusing on.
Audiences sense when a story
Thank
is
you for
being
having
forced.
me. It's a pleasure to
Right
be
now,
here
the
and discuss
dominant
this
emotional
important
narrative
topic.
belongs to
Let's
Harry.
dive right
Not
in.
because he is speaking more, but
This is
because
such
he
a
has
wonderful
stopped performing.
turnout.
That inversion
incredible.
is powerful
Everyone's
and
so
difficult to
supportive.
counter.
It really is.
Behind the scenes, conversations
Aspiration is about what's
reportedly
inside
turn
you.
increasingly
It's that inner drive that pushes you to be
practical. Not
authentic
about
and to
divorce
pursue your
papers or
goals
dramatic
relentlessly.
exits, but about logistics, schedules, separate teams, dependent commitments. These are often the first steps of emotional decoupling, long before legal separation enters the picture. When two people no longer plan together, they begin living parallel lives, even under the same roof. Harry's personal project adds another layer of uncertainty. If released, it would not function as a rebuttal or expose. Its danger lies precisely in its quietness. A personal account focused on identity and loss would inevitably invite readers to reinterpret everything that came before. And reinterpretation is something no amount of crisis management can fully control. Once the audience is invited inside a man's inner life, previous narratives lose their authority. For Meghan, the fear is not accusation. It is irrelevance to the story being told. If Harry frames his journey as internal rather than relational, she is no longer the co-protagonist. She becomes context, not center. That shift alone could redefine public understanding of the Sussex era. As 2026 approaches, the pressure to resolve this divergence will intensify. Prolonged ambiguity benefits no one, yet the paths will realign. Through radical compromise, or they will continue to drift apart until separation becomes unavoidable. What is clear is that Harry is no longer willing to sacrifice himself to maintain an image. That realization alone changes every equation. Whether this leads him back to Britain, or simply to a quieter, more private existence elsewhere remains unknown, but the idea that he could simply return to the role he once rejected is unlikely. Any return would be on his own terms, stripped of illusion and expectation. Likewise, if the marriage does not survive, it will not collapse in scandal, but in silence, the quiet end of a partnership that no longer shares a common direction. This is no longer a fairy tale unraveling in public drama. It is something slower and more human. To people confronting the cost of the choices they made under extraordinary pressure, one choosing inward truth over outward control, the other fighting to preserve meaning in a world that rewards visibility above all else. In the end, Harry's words at that conference continue to echo because they captured a universal fear. That in chasing freedom, we may lose ourselves. That in escaping one cage, we may unknowingly build another. And that realizing this too late does not come with a clean solution, only with difficult questions. Harry has begun asking those questions out loud, even if only once. And sometimes that single moment is enough to change everything that follows, as this quiet transformation continues. Why? SHS becomes increasingly clear. Harry is no longer motivated by reaction. In the past, every major step he took was a response to something: the press, the palace, public pressure, or the need to protect someone else. What is happening now is different. His movement is no longer reactive, it is reflective. And reflection, when it comes after years of noise, can be deeply destabilizing to every structure built on urgency. People close to Harry say he has begun to speak less about what he escaped from and more about what he lacks. Not materially, not emotionally in a dramatic sense, but existentially. Purpose, belonging, continuity. These are things that cannot be manufactured through branding or media presence. They are built slowly, often invisibly, and usually through long-term roots. Harry's life since leaving Britain has been anything but
thank you
rooted.
so much.
Hello,
Locations
everyone. Great to
changed,
see you.
Projects shifted, alliances formed and dissolved. The one constant was motion. And now motion itself has become exhausting. This is why his silence unsettles so many observers. Silence removes leverage. It denies others the ability to frame, counter, or exploit. When Harry refuses to clarify, refuses to reassure, refuses to deny, he leaves a vacuum. And into that vacuum, the public pours interpretation. The more he remains quiet, the more his earlier words gain. Wait. Freedom can look like a cage stops being a moment and becomes a lens through which everything else is viewed. Inside the marriage. This creates a reality that cannot be solved with messaging. Even love, when filtered through incompatible worldviews, begins to erode. Meghan's world is one of projection, shaping perception before it shapes you. Harry's current world is one of reduction, stripping away layers until something real remains. These approaches do not meet in the middle. They move in opposite directions. Sources suggest that conversations between them have grown increasingly practical and emotionally distant. Not hostile, not explosive, but restrained. When couples stop fighting and start negotiating space, it often signals a deeper shift. Emotional energy is no longer being invested in persuasion. Each person is conserving it for themselves. Harry's reconnection
Thank
with
you
former
all for
military
being here.
associates and palace
Your
staff
presence
is
means the
especially
world.
telling.
Together, we can make a difference.
That predate the Sussex
You look
identity.
beautiful
People who
tonight.
knew him without
Thank
strategy,
you.
without
So do you.
cameras, without a cause attached. In those spaces,
We must come
he does
together
not
to
need
face the
justify
challenges
his
ahead.
choices or defend
Our
his
shared
past.
future depends
He can
on the
exist
actions
without
we
narrative.
take now.
That alone
We
can
must come
feel like
together
relief
to face the
someone who
challenges
spent
ahead.
years being
Our shared
interpreted at the
future
same
depends
time.
on the actions we
Meghan's
take
position
now.
grows more precarious.
It's a beautiful
Without
day, isn't
Harry's
it?
active presence,
is
her
so
projects face a
lovely.
harsher
Shall we?
spotlight. Not because they lack merit, but because
It's a
the
beautiful
emotional
day, isn't
core
it?
that once
It
anchored
is
public
so
interest
lovely.
is no longer
Shall we?
visible. The Sussex story worked because it was framed as a shared journey. Once that unity dissolves, the story fragments. And
Thank you all
fragmented
for being
stories
here.
rarely
Your
hold
support
power.
means the world.
Industry
Together, we can
insiders
make a real
note
difference.
that hesitation
Let's keep pushing
around
forward.
supporting Meghan is not rooted in judgment, but in uncertainty. No one wants to align themselves with a narrative that may be overturned by events still unfolding. Silence becomes a form of risk management. And in Hollywood,
We must hold those in
silence is
power
often louder
accountable.
than
The
criticism.
time for
What
action
makes
is
for
now.
coming?
We cannot
Months
delay.
decisive is that
It's such a
ambiguity
joy to be
cannot
here
last
with you.
forever.
Couldn't agree more.
Harry's
We're a
withdrawal,
great
while
team.
quiet
The
and
best.
sustained, is not a break.
And when
It is a
women share their
reorientation.
stories,
And
we realize
reorientation
experiences are
eventually
not
demands
isolated.
decisions
We are
about
stronger
location,
together.
about
And when women
priorities,
share their
about
stories, we
relationships,
realize
whether that results
experiences
in a
are
return
not
to Britain, a
isolated. We are
prolonged
stronger together.
separation, or a completely new form of private life remains unknown. But the old configuration is no longer sustainable.
It's a great crowd.
If
It
Harry
is.
does choose
They're
to
so
reconnect
supportive.
with Britain in some
On
capacity,
to the next one.
it will
Let's
not
go.
be as a prodigal
It's about
son
being
seeking
authentic in every
forgiveness.
interaction.
It will be as someone
That
renegotiating
authenticity builds
identity on his
resilience
own
and helps us
terms.
inspire others.
That distinction matters.
It's about being authentic in every
It
interaction.
changes how
That
reconciliation
authenticity
would.
builds resilience
Look,
and helps us
if it
inspire
happens
others.
at all, it would not
It's
erase
about being
past
authentic in
grievances.
every
It
interaction.
would simply
That
acknowledge that total
authenticity
exile
builds
carries its own
resilience and
cost.
helps us inspire
If, on the
others.
other hand, the marriage reaches its end,
I'm here.
it is
It's
unlikely to
okay.
unfold as
I
public
know.
spectacle.
No
Thank you.
explosive.
Always.
Interviews, no mutual accusations, just gradual disentanglement. Separate paths solidifying until separation becomes fact rather than rumor. The
We
public
must
may
address
only
this
notice
issue with
after
the
it has
urgency
already
it
happened.
demands. The time
What
for
remains
action is
undeniable
now.
is that the image of Harry has shifted. He is no longer seen primarily as a rebel prince or a spokesperson for a cause. He is increasingly viewed as a man confronting the consequences of deeply personal choices. That vulnerability, unpolished and unresolved, is what resonates now. The fairy tale did not shatter in one dramatic moment.
This is so lovely, isn't it?
It really
I
is.
lost cohesion.
I'm glad we came.
Me
and in
too.
its place, something more ordinary and more painful emerged. The story of someone who left everything to be free and is now asking what freedom actually means. That single sentence spoken in a closed room continues to ripple outward, not because it accused anyone, but because it revealed something universal. That sometimes the hardest prison to escape
This is
the one
incredible.
we build
Absolutely
ourselves while
amazing.
believing we are
The
finally
energy
free.
is electric.
And once
Couldn't
that
agree more.
realization
This
settles
experience
in,
has
there
been
is no
incredibly
going back.
eye-opening for me.
To
It's made
pretending
me
the
reflect
cage does
deeply
not
on what
exist,
true